the demon. You'd make him rise from hell.
We are talking about the movie Son, as in S-O-N, as in mother and son. And this one is directed and written by Ivan Kavanagh and stars Emile Hirsch and Amy Madichak. I was reminded of the Kim Basinger movie Blessed a Child a little bit with this movie. Now, the whole point of this film, I think, is it's quite vague in what's going on. So I will be very vague in my synopsis here. But ultimately it follows a single mother who may have been the victim of some quite severe abuse when she was younger, has a young son that seems to develop a unknown medical condition that causes him to act in very strange ways. The doctors can't really identify it, and the mother is having to kind of deal with this issue on her own. Now, she fears that there may be some cult that is after the child for supernatural kind of reasons. And she is kind of pursued by Emile Hirsch's character, who is a police officer, initially as kind of like dealing with her first sort of issue, shall we say, and he may well have a more of a personal connection to her as well. That's all I'll really say on the plot, because the whole point of this movie is that you don't really know what's going on. So let's talk about the positives. It's both a positive and negative, I think, that this movie somewhat deliberately keeps you in the dark about what is going on, because you are intrigued by the mystery, and the film offers you a variety of potential reasons about what is going on. You know, even giving you the hints to them, I feel was just too much of a spoiler. But nonetheless, you know, it ranges from the mundane to the supernatural. And there's a variety of them, and there are elements that make them all seem plausible at one time or another. And part of the kind of the fun of the film, if you like, is kind of going on the journey with the characters to find out what is actually kind of going on. And, you know, sometimes you'll think one way, sometimes you'll think more of another way. So that was all quite good. I got to say, I think the acting is actually very good in this movie, particularly the young boy. And I think child actors are, you know, they're a knife edge, to be honest with you, because as much as there are some great ones, quite often there are some, more often than not really, there's some poor performances. But I think this young lad gave a really good performance. I thought he was excellent, I have to say. And, you know, you kind of bought him as this kind of this child who really is a swinging pendulum about how he's feeling, from very kind of happy-go-lucky to then very dark scenes as well. I thought he did an excellent job. Madichak as well, I got to say, I think did an excellent job as the mother character as well. Again, and she has a similar theme because she doesn't know what really to deal with it, and there's different evidence presents itself as the movie kind of goes on about what is actually kind of going on. And again, I thought actually she did a pretty good performance here. Emile Hirsch is okay. He doesn't quite have the kind of the emotional swing, so to say, his character doesn't. So he does an okay job. So overall, I got to say, I thought the acting was pretty good. I thought the payoff is still somewhat ambiguous, but I feel it's enough to kind of to satisfy people, I would say, about what is actually kind of going on. But I still feel it leaves a little bit ambiguous to maybe some of the questions that this movie raises. I think it's relatively kind of well paced. I think it's well shot. It seems slick and professional. What doesn't work? There are some kind of small things here that kind of bothered me in regards to some logic issues. So, for example, when and I don't want to spoil this movie, so I only want to give you one example, which is relatively early on. But there are some things like this. So, we have this young boy, and he gets an unknown medical condition, and the doctors don't know what it is. And they can't identify the problem. It's quite severe. It's causing him to come near death, and it's happened very quickly. So it looks quite severe. Yet they don't keep him in isolation, which I thought was just stupid. Especially releasing this in 2021 when, you know, everyone is hyper aware about kind of, you know, social distancing and quarantine and stuff, to have a character develop such a severe unknown medical condition but not quarantine him, I thought was just stupid. But that just goes, that in itself is what I mean by some silly logic issues here. There is a twist in the movie, obviously towards the end, which I thought you can see that coming a mile away. If you've watched more than 10 horror films, you will see this twist coming a mile away. I would say the story as well is the problem with it having such a kind of a story where it deliberately keeps you in the dark about what's going on. You don't really know what you're watching in all honesty. So as much as it is quite interesting watching this kind of mystery unfold and kind of finding out what's going on, you're not even entirely sure what you're watching in regards to what type of film it is. Are you watching a drama about kind of mental health, or are you watching something to do with like systemic kind of like child abuse and things like that? Are you watching a paranormal kind of horror movie, or is it something else completely different? And the problem is there, I think people may get frustrated with the film because you don't really know what it is you're actually watching. I mentioned Bless the Child, but at least that's the nearest film I would kind of compare this to. But that had its kind of cards on the table about what was kind of going on, and that still had a sense of fear and paranoia. Whilst this one kind of like I think is just a little vague in regards to what's going on, deliberately so, and it's kind of like a bit of a double-edged sword. So I understand what they were going for with it, and it does lend itself to some good drama. But at the same time, I feel that people won't really know what it is they're watching. So it's kind of, you know, it's two sides of the coin, unfortunately. So it depends which way you really fall on. When it's all said and done, I don't really think this movie has anything particularly new to offer. I think it is well made and well acted, but it's kind of run-of-the-mill in regards to kind of story. We have seen things like this done before, and when it's all said and done, there's not any kind of point where you think that seems particularly kind of unique to this film, but that doesn't actually happen. That being said, it is a well-made film, and it is such a well-acted film. I will actually pick this as an above-average film and give it a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I shall look forward to you next time. Bye for now.